Guys, so we need to talk about Mary Beushausen, or I don't know how to say her last name, Beushausen. We have to talk about the grandma because she told us a lot during the sentencing. Her victim impact statement, okay, and I just want to go over everything. I apologize if I look tired. I am tired and it's late here. Well, it's 9:40, but I feel tired. So, I apologize if I do look tired. So I'm just gonna go over everything that we learned during the sentencing. Okay, so according to Mary, Mary did not like Jake, right? And she did not, Mary did not enter the picture until March of 2025 this year. Okay, and the reason why is because Mary called social services on Jake Haro because she did not like Jake. When Rebecca first moved in with Jake, she called protection services on Jake Haro. So that caused Jake Haro to then isolate Rebecca and keep Rebecca away from her family, from all her family, Mary and her kids, her children. And from what I gathered, is that Mary was called by by Rebecca's daughter from her previous marriage. So she has two daughters from her previous marriage, Irene and another daughter. I'm not sure what the other daughter's name. Okay. So Irene, Rebecca's daughter Irene, was living with Jake and Rebecca, is what I gather. And Irene called Mary to tell her, hey, I don't like it here. I need to get out of here. I don't like it here. And that caused Mary to call social services. I'm guessing CPS. Okay. CPS then went to the house, looked in the house, inspected everything. The fridge was good. There was food in there, and the house. She said that CPS told them that everything was beautiful. Right, the house was beautiful. Everything was good. I'm gathering that when Mary first called social services, this was way before Jake and Rebecca had Mackenzie and Emmanuel. So CPS did not know that they had the two children because they didn't exist yet. Okay. Irene, the daughter, would have been 13, 14. Say this happened 5 years ago. She would have been 13, 14, which makes sense because said that they're adults now, right? If this happened 5 years ago in 2019, 2020, it would make sense that Irene would be the one that was living with Jake and Rebecca. Are you following me so far? Okay, and then when Mary followed up on social services never told them about the 2018 case of Promise Faith. She was not aware of what Jake Haro did with Promise Faith. That's why she said if she would have known about the 2018 case, if she would have known what Jake Haro did to his 10-week-old baby, she would have sent her sons and take Rebecca out of that house. She would have asked them to get the grandchildren. She did not know that Rebecca was pregnant with Mackenzie. She did not know that Rebecca was pregnant with Emmanuel. And the reason why she entered the picture in March, the only reason why they got back in touch in March was because Mary had a stroke. And one of her children, either her son or her daughter, reached out to Rebecca when she was in ICU and told Rebecca. And this is how she was able to get in touch with Rebecca again. And this is when she met Mackenzie, the 2-year-old daughter, Jake and Rebecca's 2-year-old daughter, Mackenzie. This is how she met Mackenzie. Now, if baby Emmanuel was born in December of 21st of 2024, why didn't Mary meet Emmanuel? Why didn't Mary meet Emmanuel? Were they hiding Emmanuel from Mary? Did Emmanuel have bruises? Is that why she didn't get to meet Emmanuel? Emmanuel would have been 2.5, 3 months maybe, depending on when in March she entered the picture, right? So she was unaware of Jake's previous charges. She just didn't like Jake. She didn't like Jake at all. That's why when the granddaughter Irene called Mary to tell her, I don't like it here, she called protective services to check on Rebecca and the granddaughter. And the CPS told her everything was fine, nothing was wrong. Now, do you guys remember Rebecca's ex-husband? Okay. Rebecca's ex-husband did a US Sun article where he speaks out. Okay? And I'm going to read it to you guys. I'm going to read the part where he talks about this. Okay, let me read it to you guys. It says the US Sun, ex-husband speaks out. Mother's ex-husband speaks out. In the days following little Emmanuel's disappearance, troubling details have emerged about Jake's criminal records, as well as Haro's life as the mother of 5 other children. Haro's ex-husband, who asked not to be named, told the US Sun he did not know his ex-wife remarried or had another son. The man said he and Haro have been separated for years following an 11-year marriage. Quote, our relationship was normal, your normal relationship. We were married for 11 years and dated for about 15 years. End quote. The ex-husband told the US Sun, we got 2 daughters. They're grown now. They're grown. They're over 18 already. I don't know anything about her new husband, only what I've read on the news. I haven't talked to her in years. I didn't even know she had a son until the news came out. The man wished for a positive outcome in the search for Haro's son, adding, when a kid goes missing, it's pretty shocking. You never wish that on a baby. Then you find out that it goes missing like that out of nowhere. I don't know. It's heartbreaking. I don't know what to think about that. Only she knows the truth. I hope they, as in the police, find the baby. I think that's what everybody wants out of this. Okay? I read that to you guys, right? He says, our relationship was normal. Your normal relationship. We were married for 11 years and dated for about 15 years. And he also says, we got 2 daughters. They're already grown. Hey guys, I'm doing a voiceover here because I'm editing this and I was trying to look for the article or the part where somebody said that Rebecca did not speak to her children for 11 years. Apparently, I read that somewhere and I could not find it. So I don't believe that to be true because there are pictures of them together. And when I say together, I mean her daughter Irene. Rebecca and her daughter Irene has pictures of them on Facebook, and it would make sense that they lived together in 2019, according to what Mary says in her statement. Now, I looked something up and something came up. Okay, it says on July 22nd, 2019, somebody filed a temporary emergency protection order against somebody. Whether this was Rebecca, okay? It says July 22nd, 2019, docket. Status filed. Description: request for order. RE. Child custody, property control filed on July 22nd, 2019 on domestic violence with children by Rebecca Renee Chavez. Because remember, that's her last name then when she was married to him. It was on it. This case was consolidated, meaning two or more separate cases have been joined into a single case or proceeding to be heard together. So it was two different separate cases and they put it into one. Okay, and it says right here, one second. So on July 17th, she filed a domestic violence restraining order against her ex-husband. Okay. Temporary restraining order on domestic violence with children filed by Rebecca Renee Chavez. He actually filed the as hold on. Nope. She filed on July 17th, 2019. She filed. Okay, you guys, I was trying to figure it out, okay, because it was so confusing. And okay, so I think Rebecca filed on July 17th, 2019, and Ed had to file on November 18th of 2019. He was filing the same thing that she was filing, and basically he had to complete an anger management and batterers program for like 16 weeks. Riverside County Probation Department Domestic Violence Report on Domestic Violence with Children filed by Rebecca Renee Chavez on July 17, 2019, but he also filed the same thing against her. And from what somebody said, she ended up not getting custody of the two children. So, is that a normal relationship then? Right? They're filing domestic violence on each other. That's not normal. That's not normal to me. Okay, and then it says December 11th of 2019. Status filed. Description: domestic violence batterers program on domestic violence with children filed by Rebecca Renee Chavez on July 17th, 2019, filed by Chavez. So there was a DV batterers program here, and then on December 17th, 2019, Riverside County Probation Department Domestic Violence Report on Domestic Violence with Children. Okay. It says January 24th of 2020. They were just filing things on each other. So, domestic violence batterers program on domestic violence with children filed by Rebecca Renee Chavez, filed by Chavez. So they were just filing the same things on each other. And then on January 24th of 2020, it says status generated description minute order hearing. So they had a hearing, review of completion of 16-week anger management program as to Chavez. So he had to do a 16-week completion of anger management. It says completed. The hearing, they had a hearing for the 16-week anger management program. So this wasn't a normal relationship. I don't know what normal is to him, but that's not normal. So this went on till 2020, January of 2020. So around that time, Irene was living with Jake Haro and Rebecca Haro, because around 2020 to 2021, I believe, because Rebecca and Jake got married in 2021. Okay, so in 2021 they were living together. She moved in with Jake. She was already living with Jake, and Irene must have been living with them. And Irene didn't like living with them, so she called grandma, and grandma called CPS, social services, to check on them and check the house, but didn't tell her of Jake's prior case, and said house looks fine. The two children were not born yet. Mackenzie and Emmanuel were not born yet, right? So they couldn't have taken away the children, because Mary didn't even know that Mackenzie and Emmanuel existed until March of this year. So I wonder if she kept calling. Mm, I wonder if Rebecca told Mary about baby Emmanuel, but that doesn't make any sense, because Mary was taking the pictures from Rebecca's Facebook, or Rebecca was sending pictures to Mary of baby Emmanuel. And I kind of wonder if Rebecca's excuse as to why Mary didn't see Emmanuel yet was because of the shot, because they're saying that baby Emmanuel didn't have his shot, so maybe this is why they were keeping him away from everybody. But in reality, baby Emmanuel was being harmed at home and probably had bruises. That's probably why she didn't get to meet baby Emmanuel. Why is it that she got to meet Mackenzie but not baby Emmanuel? Baby Emmanuel would have been 2 months, 3 months when she met Mackenzie. So why couldn't she have met Emmanuel? And if she didn't meet Emmanuel, why didn't she call CPS and checked on the baby then? Right? Why didn't she do a wellness check? I don't know. It's something doesn't seem right here. And then remember, Rebecca filed a protection order against Mary in September of 2005. Yeah, September of 2005. And either Rebecca didn't have enough evidence, sufficient evidence, or she dropped the case against her mother and was dismissed. She would have been 21 years old at this time when she filed this protection order against her mother. And you kind of got to wonder why she did that. And I do kind of feel for Mary, because on August 5th, Mary lost her grandchild, Charlie Jr. Her son, Charlie, whose son is also named Charlie Jr., passed away. Okay? Charlie Jr. passed away on August 5th. On August 14th, baby Manuel was reported missing. And then on August 17th, her sister passed away. So she didn't even get to grieve. Like in 1 month, she had 3 people die in her family. And, she was questioned by the police, you know, and she was cleared. And, what's not okay is it's not okay to be attacking her in person. It's not okay to be attacking her at the store and, demanding answers, because even though protecting, she was defending Jake and Rebecca in the news report, right? She was defending Jake and Rebecca, saying their homebodies, they wouldn't hurt their children. I believe she was just defending her daughter at the time, and she didn't really think that Rebecca was capable of that. Jake, if she did not know Jake's conviction at the time, right? If she only found about if she only found out about this after baby Emmanuel disappeared, if she did not know about Promise Faith, she wouldn't have suspected Rebecca of being capable of doing something like this. So of course she's going to defend her daughter, right? Even if we as public viewers think that, you know, Rebecca had something to do with it, of course she's going to defend her daughter. At the end of the day, Rebecca is family to her, right? Even though it's wrong, because I think Rebecca is just as capable, you know, I don't think it's right that people are attacking her in person. That's never okay. This lady lost 3 family members. She lost 3 family members. She didn't even get to grieve because she had to worry about baby Emmanuel being reported missing. And I do believe that she believed Jake and Rebecca when they said that he was kidnapped. I think she believed it. I don't think she knew that, or I don't think that she thought Rebecca was capable of doing that, right? So, I do feel a little bit bad for Mary, but as far as her defending Rebecca, I don't feel bad for that. But I do feel for her for losing her family members all at once at the same month. When Mary called social services, this was before Emmanuel and Mackenzie were born. So I believe that is why they were not taken by CPS. Now, my question is, when she met Mackenzie and she knew baby Emmanuel was born, why didn't she not call CPS or do a wellness check on them, right? Maybe because Rebecca was now seeing Rebecca was now able to see her, so maybe she thought Jake wasn't much of a threat anymore, maybe. Or maybe because now that she has access to Rebecca again, that it's okay now. I don't know. Um, but I think that is why the children, Mackenzie and Emmanuel, I think that is why they were not taken away by CPS then, was because they did not exist yet. Now, after she found out that Mackenzie was born, why didn't she call CPS? Yeah, so Jake isolated Rebecca from her family because Mary called CPS on Jake Haro, okay? Because Irene, her granddaughter, called her. That is why Jake Haro isolated Rebecca from everybody because of the social services call that she called on Jake Haro. And so this was way before baby Emmanuel and Mackenzie were born. That is why they were not taken by CPS at the time. That is why they didn't see the marks on baby Emmanuel. Now, was she calling CPS over and over again? That's the question. I don't think she did. I think once her granddaughter was out of the house, I think this is when she stopped calling them, probably. Okay, so that I don't know. You guys, every time I film about this case, I have weird things happening. I'm not saying it's spiritual or anything, okay? I keep having audio issues with my mic, and earlier my lights were flickering like crazy. Okay, I'm not saying it's anything like that, but every time I film this case or I talk about this case, something weird happens. But, anyways, comment down below what you think, by the way. Thank you. And baby Manuel's petition will be in the description down below. Sign it. Hey guys, that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thank you guys.